you're someone who struggles with overthinking, then stay tuned because I have 8 tips that just might help you. We all yearn for that life that is full of joy and contentment. But many of us miss out on the present moment because we're too busy overthinking and worrying about the past or future. Now, to truly live in the moment, you have to learn how to appreciate what you have right now and savor each passing second. So now, if you're ready to take control of your life and become an expert at living in the moment, then let's go ahead and get started with practicing mindfulness. Now, mindfulness means focusing on the present moment and being more aware of your thoughts and your feelings. Now, to practice mindfulness, it's helpful to focus on those senses, the things we learned in kindergarten: see, feel, hear, smell, taste. I do this by paying attention to the world around me and kind of noticing the colors of nature, the greens in the grass and the trees, the blues in the sky, the oranges at sunset, listening to that little bird outside my window who calls me pretty every morning, or just being outside feeling the warmth of the sunshine or the coolness of raindrops. When you pay attention to your senses in this way, it connects you to that present moment and you can embrace the beauty of what's right now. It also allows you to free yourself up from, any regrets and worries and kind of discover that newfound sense of inner peace. Now, speaking of regrets and worries, we have got to learn how to let things go. Now I'm not a really big stressor, but I do have to work on this next one because if you master letting it go, it can be one of the most freeing things in life. When you let things go, you can focus on what matters in the here and now and just appreciate life more. Once you become aware that you're having these thoughts and that they're coming up, you can take a deep breath and repeat a phrase like, "I'm letting it go," or "I surrender." This moves you away from dwelling on the negative feelings and moving forward towards really just living in the moment. Making time for self-care is another great way to combat an anxious thought. So engage in some type of creative activity or take a few moments to just be, because that can significantly reduce your stress levels and provide opportunities just to refocus. And then we have to remember that life isn't always going to turn out exactly as we planned it. There's going to be ups and downs along the way, but you have to get to a point where you gain this peace in knowing that everything happens for a reason, even if it's not clear at first. But releasing that expectation of how things should be will open you up to the joys of life that you may miss out on. Now, I'm a firm believer that God has it all figured out, and I still have to work on letting things go and the need to control every outcome. But by doing things that make me happy, it makes me feel more connected. Engaging in some activities that bring you joy can make you feel more present. Sometimes it's just hard to just be present. We get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life, and on this journey, it can feel like a hamster wheel that never stops spinning. So I can't stress enough how important it is to make sure that you take time for yourself. Maybe you love painting or cooking or even writing, but give yourself permission to do something solely for the purpose of making you happy. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be elaborate. Just enjoy that process. Life is chaotic. It's predictable, but making time for yourself can help you to create moments that will last forever. Now, some people can hang out by themselves, but not me. I'm just not that girl. Which brings me to my next point. You have to be able to connect with others. We all need people, believe it or not. And whether it be a family member, friends, co-workers, just having that person to lean on and share your thoughts can make a huge difference in how you feel. Now, if you are a loner, you can start by making an effort to reach out and get to know some people around you. Ask them about their life and what they enjoy doing. Listen actively to what they have to say and be open to learn more about them as individuals. You may also find that you have more in common than you think. If you set aside a few moments each week where you just focus on the people around you, maybe brunch with a friend or walking in a local park with a family member, just doing something fun together can help you to bond over shared experiences and create some lasting memories for your relationship. Now, my son loves opera. I don't. But on the ride to school, I take out the time to ask him about any new songs that he's found, or even when he's out in the driveway practicing basketball. I can't play to save my life, but I get out here with him and I do my best just so I can create those connections with him. Remember, building meaningful relationships, it does take time and it takes some effort, but it's definitely worth it in the end. So, take it slow, come away from every opportunity with new knowledge or new perspective about somebody else's life. You have to nurture those connections and be grateful for what you have, because that can kind of help you stay focused on appreciating the here and now and appreciating the things that we do in our day-to-day life. Be grateful and be present in that moment. And when you find yourself feeling overwhelmed or anxious, just take a step back and think about all the wonderful things that you have in your life, whether they're big or small. It could be something as small as a cup of coffee in the morning, or, just taking a walk outside, enjoying nature's beauty. I focus on positive and I try to appreciate how lucky I am in the experiences that I have on a day-to-day basis. But this also can shift your mindset away from worrying about what could go wrong. Take some time to think about what you're grateful for. Get a journal, write it out, say thank you for all that you have, and enjoy everything that comes your way, so that when those unwanted feelings do start to come up, you can go back and read that journal to remind you of everything that God has given you. And another way to enjoy life is really just taking a break from technology. If you put your devices down and get outside, that can be one of the best ways to really live in the moment. While it gets easy to be lost in our gadgets, taking a break from them can really help you enjoy life more fully. I usually go for a walk or, a hike or something outside, not only because it's great exercise, but it also helps with the opportunity to appreciate nature's beauty and just enjoying that present moment. Disconnecting from technology during meals or even when you're with friends or family, and just focus on those that you care about so that you don't miss important conversations or moments that might otherwise be lost if you're behind the screen. For me, scrolling through social media is a bit relaxing, but it can cause its own form of anxiety. So head outdoors and really learn how to appreciate the beauty in those small moments too. Now, a small moment is something like, say for instance, a funny joke between you and a friend, or a beautiful sunset, a delicious meal, playing with your dog. These are all moments that can be treasured. For instance, channel your inner Guy Fieri, and when you're eating a meal, take your time to really enjoy the flavors or the textures of the bite. During conversations with friends, channel your inner Oprah. Focus on what they're saying. You don't really want to miss out on anything important. One thing that we can control is our attitude. So, keep it positive and optimistic and expect for great things to happen to you. Regardless of how the things went the night before, God is faithful and He promises new mercies every morning. So be intentional about your day and start each day with a smile. Every 24 hours is a new and endless possibility. Life is full of precious moments waiting just to be made. So when we trust in God and His process and we embrace that uncertainty, a new journey awaits. Now, it can be easy to get caught up in the idea of knowing what the future holds. I do it all the time because I don't want to be caught off guard. But the truth is that life is going to take an unexpected turn, and we have to learn how to embrace that uncertainty. When faced with a difficult situation, just focus on the things you can control instead of worrying about the outcome. You have to trust that whatever happens is going to be in your best interest, and have that faith in God that everything is happening for your good. Additionally, don't be afraid to ask for help from friends or family if you need it. They can provide some support or guidance, which can make all the difference in the world when you're trying to get through a tough situation. At times, it may feel like you are taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. But even if the process feels slow, just keep going. Trusting means understanding that everything won't happen overnight. Some things take time, they take patience, they take dedication. And if you stay focused, the things that you consider to be bad may have a way of making you a stronger person in the end. Now, the key takeaway from all of these tips is that living in the moment can be very beneficial to your mental health. By taking control of your thought life, you can balance out the stresses of work and daily life with more enjoyable and beneficial activities. Mastering this skill will make life less stressful and even help improve some aspects of your work and personal life at the same time. So for the next 30 days, let's begin this process by creating some positive habits. And remember that there is beauty in uncertainty. We can grow and we can learn more about ourselves as individuals. So take a deep breath and just trust wherever life takes you is going to lead you to something amazing. Now, I would love to know if you have any other tips on how we can live in the moment. And also, if you like this content, do not forget to leave me a comment below. Give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And I will see you guys next week. XOXO Single Life Club.